Transportation, of course, is always a hot button topic in any metropolitan area, and we've been hearing a lot about it lately here in the Tampa Bay area. With more on a big vote that happened just last week is Kimberlee DeBosier and Christopher Rogers from the Greater Tampa Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kim, let's start with you. Explain to everybody exactly what happened, and then we'll get into how it's going to impact Tampa Bay area.
Last Thursday, the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners held a public hearing to consider placing a referendum on the November ballot for a half-cent sales tax dedicated to transportation. And the public hearing was held, after which the board convened and voted 4-3 to defeat that motion. So the referendum will not be placed on the ballot.
So the Tampa Chamber of Commerce, of course, was a big proponent of this passing, Christopher. So how is this going to impact our area? And we're familiar with referendums not passing in the area of transportation, aren't we?
Right. Well, the transportation referendum for the half-cent sales tax was one of multiple funding sources being looked at, but probably the most critical. I mean, when you look at Hillsborough County, there's 1.3 million people roughly. For the next 20, 25 years, we're going to about double. You've got groups simultaneously with sprawl, with master plan communities that are going to require more road infrastructure and bridge infrastructure and other ways to get people into the major employment areas. And then simultaneously, you've got urbanization with more and more people living in the metropolitan area, for example, Venix thing. So in those areas, you're looking at folks needing to look at walkability and other things. And at the same time, we're going to double in size. When you start looking at revenue sources, the county staff has decreased in size at the same time that we've increased in size. There's multiple funding sources, a gas tax, which the county commission is not going to act on, mobility fees, which thankfully they did, which does allow the developers to contribute. Some folks want to say that increased revenue sources through growth are going to cover it. That's not realistic, because at the same time as you're growing, in addition to better transportation options, you still need to build new schools, more fire departments, more police departments. So that's not a source of revenue that can be counted on. So really, the half-cent sales tax, what that did is, for at least 20 years, was going to allow bonding capabilities, also federal matching capabilities, and probably most importantly, the huge political contention here is between unincorporated Hillsborough County and the cities of Plant City, Temple Terrace, and Tampa. And they have different needs. And the sales tax was going to allow, you know, more walkability, some premium transit, some looking at rails and modernized streetcars in the cities, while allowing the type of transportation options needed in unincorporated Hillsborough County to get down. It really was the best option. It had the most flexibility, the most cash, and with them voting that down, you know, this is twice that the county commission, it's not that they voted not to do it. They don't have the legal right to do it.
Right.
They voted to not even allow us to vote on it. And the first time they voted it down, they realized there's not enough money for the projects. So they tried to find the funding, it's not there. So then they came back on a second vote, they voted that down as well. So
Seems like a no-brainer.
Even their current 10-year project plan, they don't now know how it's going to be funded.
Wow. Really quickly, Kim, tell us how this issue disproportionately affects women and business, for that matter.
Well, women are disproportionately impacted for a number of reasons. One is that there are far more households here than people realize that do not have a car or just have one car. So if there are two working parents in a family, if the man needs a car for his job, if he's the major breadwinner, he's going to take the car. So the woman doesn't have a car to, you know, so if there's no mobility options, you know, and she's the major caregiver, how does she get the children to and from school? How does she find a job? How does she get her elderly parents to the doctor? So there are a number of reasons. And also, women and children are majority victims of domestic violence. And without mobility options, those women and children are put in greater danger.
Hopefully this can be revisited at another time in the future. That's all we can hope for at this point.
We'll be working toward that.
All right. Kimberlee DeBosier and Christopher Rogers, thank you so much. For more on the Chamber's transportation efforts, visit their website, tampachamber.com, and we'll be right back.